Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the greatest boxer tournament in Title Bout II. With a little extra time today on Labor Day, we're going to jump in, we're going to move the tournament over to Lost Carcosa for September with the fall campaign, and we're also going to have the last round in the last bout in the first round of the tournament. So here's a quick look at our current brackets. We can see so far we've got Rocky Marciano versus Ivan Drago waiting for us in the quarterfinals. Sonny Liston's getting ready to take on Lennox Lewis. Rocky Balboa is getting ready to take on Ken Norton after the shocker of the tournament, with Ken Norton taking out Muhammad Ali. And George Foreman's waiting for his opponent, which will be the subject of today's fight. So that'll be the last bout in the first round of the tournament. So with that, let's go meet our fighters. Before we go too much further, I do want to mention, in case you guys are picking up on a little bit of background noise, that was me finishing closing the closet in the game room, but I also have the dishwasher running, so if it gets to be too much, and I might end up closing the door here in a couple minutes, to the game room, but in case you're wondering what the background noise is, that's what's going on right now. So anyway, we'll go ahead and meet Evander Holyfield, who's a heavyweight, rating of 9, and he can do either. We can see his stats over here. He takes control on an 11 against a boxer or a slugger, aggressiveness of 8, killer instinct of 8, endurance of 110, foul rating D, 0 defense, KD 1 and 2 of 2-3, knockout rating of 2, cut 4, and a counterpunch range of 8. And there are all of his actions. You can pause the card to look at that. That's it for Evander Holyfield. Then that's John Cena, who's going to be representing Evander Holyfield. Now let's move him to the ring and bring his opponent into shop. I did close the door. I just closed the door, so hopefully that'll help deaden the noise a little bit on the dishwasher. But that aside, Roman Reigns is going to be representing Vitali Klitschko, who's another heavyweight, rating of 10, and he's a slugger, nickname Dr. Iron Fist. Evander Holyfield's nickname was The Real Deal. No special abilities. He takes control on a 9 against a boxer or an 11 against a slugger. 10 aggressiveness, which will make him our aggressor to start the bout. Killer instinct of 9, 90 endurance, foul rating of a B, defense of 2, KD 1 and 2 of 1-2, knockout 1, cut 3, and a counterpunch range of 4. There are all his actions there. Once again, you can pause the video to take a look at that. With that, let's move him to the ring, and we'll actually follow him over there. Our last order of business before we're ready to start the bout is we need a referee. So I've got the referee deck right here. We'll give this a shuffle. I'm probably going to end up sleeving these referees before too long. And a cut. And let's see who our first try at the referee is going to be. Our first try is going to be Larry Hazard. Fouls strict, stoppage early. None of that's going to be related. He's available on a 1-70. So we're going to go to the second deck. And we'll get a random number to see if he's available or not. A 37 says he's available. So that'll be a note. That'll be the last note we need. Let me grab the referee card here so I have that to make notes on. Larry Hazard, strict, and he checks on the 3rd point deduction. Okay. Right. We need the referee card to move back over to the ring. Maybe straighten that out just a touch. I think that'll work. So with that, I think we're all set. So let's go ahead and sound the bell. Well, the crowd's filing into Lost Carcosa, so let's sound the bell and start round 1. Since Holyfield can do either, he's going to box against Klitschko to make it a lot easier for Klitschko to gain control, and there's the bell. Let's start round 1. Klitschko is our aggressor. He will start off with no control. Holyfield takes control. He gets our first action check of the fight. 12 is going to land a punch, and Holyfield will get on board first with 1 point partially blocked. So that'll bring Holyfield up to 1 point. Now I've got to say, these extra dials from Marvel Champions have been really handy. Holyfield back with our next control check. Keeps control. 66 is ring movement, so we are moving nowhere. We're staying at ring center. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 10 is going to land another punch, and he will land. 54 is good for a 3-point combination. That brings Holyfield up to 4 points. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 64 is ring movement, so where are we moving this time? We're moving to the near ropes, which means now Holyfield is a +1 to keep control, which brings us to more control for Holyfield. He is very much controlling this first round so far. 59 is a clinch. Holyfield finally loses control. Klitschko takes control. 24, he's going to land a punch of his own. Klitschko will get on the board with. 59 is a 2-point combination. Took me a minute to read the card from a little bit of a distance. Back to Klitschko we go, who loses control. Holyfield takes control. 12 is going to land another punch, and Holyfield will land. 29 is a 2-point hook, so that'll bring Holyfield up to 6 points on the round. Back to Holyfield we go, who loses control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield takes control. 40 is a missed punch. Klitschko cannot try to counterpunch. He'd need to get a 43 on that random number. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield takes control. 54 is a clinch. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield takes control. 41 misses a punch, no counterpunch. Holyfield stays in control. 62 is ring movement, so we are moving back to ring center, which means Holyfield will give up his advantage against the ropes. Holyfield will stay in control anyway. 22 is going to land a punch. He will land. 44 is good for a 2-point cross, so that'll bring Holyfield up to 8 points. Back to Holyfield we go. Stays in control. Lands a power shot. That's definitely within his power shot range. Klitschko's a KD1 rating of 1 against an 8. So 8-1. 4 points to Holyfield. So that brings Holyfield up to 12 points on the round. Holyfield stays in control. 6 is right at the top of the range, but it's another power shot. So Klitschko's still a 1 against a 2. That should be another 4 points, I'm pretty sure. Right? Yes. Which will bring Holyfield up to 16 points on the round. Holyfield loses control. Klitschko No control. Holyfield will not get control, but that's the end of round 1. So 16 points to Holyfield, to 2 for Klitschko. And by a 14-point margin, high score will automatically win the round 10-9. So I'm going to do a little bit of math, a little bit of paperwork here. So 74, 108. And Holyfield takes the round. Alright, with that I'll get everything prepared and then we'll be back for round 2 where Holyfield will be our aggressor. Holyfield's going to continue to box against Klitschko going into round 2, and there's the bell, so let's start round 2. Back to Holyfield for our first control check. He takes control. 7 is right outside of power shot range, but it's good enough to land a punch, and Holyfield will get on the board for round 2 with a 9 that's good for a 2-point jab. Holyfield seems to be picking up right where he left off in round 1. Holyfield stays in control. Foul. Uh-oh, he's a D rating, so this could be big against an 11 plus. I believe we had a modifier for a strict referee. Yep, 5 is 16, but even that will get waived off, no foul. Holyfield stays in control. 17 lands a punch, and he will land. 46 is good for a 2-point cross. So Holyfield going up to 4 points. Back over to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. He definitely found a way to neutralize Klitschko's power early. 53 is a clinch. Back to Holyfield we go. No control. Klitschko getting his first control check of the round. Special. Oh boy, so we got to draw another card and resolve the special. Fighter in control hits on the break. No points are scored, but the opponent's endurance is immediately lowered by 4. So Holyfield's endurance drops by 4 to 104. Now I'm going to keep this reminder. Second time, add +1 to warnings. Third time, the referee takes a point away. So I'm going to leave that one to the side just so I know that's there. Klitschko stays in control. 29 is going to land a punch of his own, and he will get on the board with a 7 is good for a 3-point jab. So just like that, Klitschko is very much in this second round. Back to Klitschko we go, who loses control. Holyfield takes control back. Foul. Wow. Holyfield is still a D against a 73 plus 2 is 70, plus 5 is 78. So on this one, Holyfield's losing a point for using the shoulders. So -1 shoulder. Back to Holyfield we go, who loses control. Klitschko takes control. 16, Klitschko will land a punch, and he will land. 17 is good for a 2-point jab, so that'll give Klitschko a 1-point lead on the round. Back to Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield takes control. 10 is going to land a punch, and Holyfield will land. 42 is good for a 2-point cross. And control of this round is going back and forth. Holyfield stays in control. 76 is ring movement, so we are moving. Staying in ring center. Back to Holyfield, who stays in control. Foul again. Whoa, boy. D against. A 9 plus 5 is 14. That'll get waved off. Holyfield stays in control. 61 is a clinch. Holyfield stays in control. 46 misses a punch. Klitschko can try to counterpunch. 74 won't get it done, though. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 19 is going to land a punch, and he will land. 73 is good for a 2-point uppercut, so up to 8 points for Holyfield. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. Landing a power shot. Klitschko's a 1 against a 12. 12, 1, that'll be 5 points to Holyfield, which will bring him up to 13. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 27 is going to land a punch, and then this will be the end of the round. As a 63 is good for a 2-point combination, bringing Holyfield up to 15 points. That's the end of round 2. 15 points for Holyfield, 5 for Klitschko. Let's see, so that's 99, and another 15 is 59. And I believe with a 10-point difference, yes, high score wins the round 10-9. So Holyfield is, so far, I should say, Holyfield is in control of the fight. But as we know, anything can happen over a 15-round fight and in a single elimination tournament. So with that, I'm going to get the decks ready to go, and then we'll start round 3, where Holyfield will be our aggressor. Holyfield's going to continue to box against Klitschko, and there's the bell, so let's start round 3. I forgot to reset the dials, so I will take care of that real quick. Now we're ready for round 3. So Holyfield is our aggressor. He will start off with control, landing a punch, and he will land 1 point partially blocked. But once the dial focuses, that is enough to get Holyfield on the board. So he will continue with control. 34 is right at the top of landing a punch, but he will land one. A 3 is good for a 3-point jab. Klitschko's defense is not great. Holyfield continues on. Losing control, Klitschko finally gets his first control check of the round, which he will not take control. Back to Holyfield we go, who takes control. 25 is going to land another punch, and he will land. 75 is good for a 2-point uppercut, so 6 points total on the round for Holyfield. Back to Holyfield we go, who loses control. Klitschko takes control. 68 is ring movement. We're moving. Staying in ring center. Klitschko needed some ring movement there. But we're back to Klitschko, who loses control. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield, takes control. 75 is ring movement. Holyfield definitely benefits from ring movement as well, but we're staying in ring center. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 9 is going to land a punch. I was getting excited for a power shot, but he doesn't have a lot of power. A 49, though, is good for another 2-point cross. So up to 8 points on the round. Back to Holyfield we go, who loses control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Crowd's getting restless in Carcosa. Klitschko takes control. 29 is going to land a punch. His first one of the round will be 44 cut. So 44 is good for a 3-point cross. Holyfield's cut rating is a 4, so we add that to the random number on this card. Foul, so no cut. Klitschko loses control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko takes control. 69 is ring movement. We're moving. Staying in ring center. Klitschko stays in control. 17 is going to land a punch. He will land. 39 is good for a 3-point cross, which will help Klitschko close the gap. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko takes control. 57 is going to clinch. Klitschko would lose control, but there's the bell to end round 3. So 8 points for Holyfield, 6 for Klitschko. Just going to do a little math here. And 93. And at that close a margin, we need to ask the judges what they think of the round. So they're scoring it. Low, even, high. All right, so we're going 9. So Judge 1 is giving the round to Klitschko. Judge 2 is scoring it a dead draw. And Judge 3 is giving it to the high scorer, is giving it to Holyfield. So we have a dead even round there. I'll get the decks reset for round 4, and Holyfield will continue to be our aggressor. Holyfield's going to continue to box against Klitschko, and there's the bell. Let's start round 4. Over to Holyfield we go, who starts the round with control. 12 is going to land a punch. Holyfield will land 1 point partially blocked. All right, off to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 72 is going to be ring movement, so we are moving to the left neutral corner, which means Holyfield is now +1 on his control check, so a 12 or lower will take control. A 9 would have anyway. Special, okay. Let's see what we've got here. Nothing special occurs. Consider this just brief pause in the action, no effect. All right, back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 71 is ring movement, so we are moving. to the near ropes now. Make sure they stand up. Back to Holyfield we go, who loses control. Klitschko gets his first check of the round. No control. Holyfield takes control back. 46 is a missed punch. Klitschko can try to counter punch. 73 won't work though. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 52 will be a clinch. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko takes control. Klitschko is with his first power shot of the round. Holyfield's a 2 against. A 20, oh boy. 2 against a 20, we gotta check for a knockout. So 6 points to Klitschko. Come on, focus, there we go. 6 points to Klitschko. Holyfield's knockout rating is a 2. He'll be up against. Knockout rating of 17. I believe won't end the fight. 2-17 won't end the fight. So we get a... Okay, so if no knockdown, then full Killer Instinct. So Klitschko's about to go on a Killer Instinct run of 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Klitschko needed this badly. So now we move back to ring center before Klitschko starts his Killer Instinct. So first up for Klitschko, we have a landed punch, and Klitschko will land. 1 point partially blocked, so that'll bring Klitschko up to 7 points on the round. We still are far from done with Klitschko's Killer Instinct, though. Next card up. 44 is a missed punch. Holyfield can try to counter punch. He's got to get at least 5 points on a counter punch to stop Killer Instinct. 43 won't work, though. Back to Klitschko we go. 63 is ring movement, so we're moving. Staying in ring center. Klitschko, 16 will land a punch, and he will land. 9 is going to be good for a 2-point jab, which will bring Klitschko up to 9 points. And then last card for Klitschko is going to lead into another punch, which that will be a 1 is going to be good for a 3-point jab, so that'll bring Klitschko up to 12 points. Klitschko might be finally waking up here, but I shouldn't speak too soon on that. He stays in control, though, does Klitschko. Picking up another power shot. Holyfield's still a 2 against a 2, which will be another 4 points to Klitschko, so 16 points. So we're up to 16 points on the round for Klitschko. This is a round Klitschko needed to wake up. Next up, for Klitschko, he stays in control. 10 is outside of power shot range, but it's good enough to land a punch. 76 will give him another 2-point uppercut, so that's up to 18 points on... That's up to 18 points for Klitschko. Back over to Klitschko we go, who loses control finally. Holyfield can't take it. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko takes control back finally. 27 is going to land a punch. He will land. 26 is a 3-point hook. So Klitschko is up to 21 points on the round. Back to Klitschko, who stays in control. 55 is a clinch. Klitschko loses control. Holyfield takes control. 58 is a clinch. So over to Holyfield we go, who would lose control, but there's the bell. What a round for Klitschko. He needed that one badly. 40 and 21 points for Klitschko. Brings him up to 34. 50 and 21 from that is going to be 72. By a 20-point margin, Klitschko actually gets his first round win of the bout as he picks up round 4 by a score of 10-8. Then we'll get the decks rebuilt, and once we come back, Klitschko will be our aggressor. Holyfield's going to continue to box against Klitschko, and Klitschko's our aggressor, so there's the bell. Let's start round 5. Klitschko will lead us off with no control. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield, no control. Restless crowd already. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield. First control of the round goes to Holyfield, who's going to foul already. He's a D against. A 44 plus 5 is 49, which Larry's telling the fighters to keep it clean. Back to Holyfield we go. Loses control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield takes control. 28 is going to land a punch. Holyfield will get on the board first with a 3 is a 3-point jab, so Holyfield going up to 3 points. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 14 is going to land another punch. He will pick up. A 16 is going to be good for a 2-point jab. I think I got to double check, but I forgot about carryover, but I think that only triggers at 25 points. I don't think it triggered at 21, like Klitschko picked up last round. Let's see, 18. Oh no, that's only on knockdowns. Never mind. Actually, I think there is a chance of carryover on a particular point margin, but I don't see it here. Yeah, I don't think there's carryover except during a knockdown. So we're back to Holyfield again. Right? Yes, that was another 2-point jab for Holyfield. So back to him we go, who stays in control. 10 is going to land a punch. Holyfield will pick up now. 34 is a 3-point cross. Holyfield beginning to dominate the action and keeping the 2- and 3-round TKOs at bay from Klitschko. So Holyfield loses control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield takes control. 65 is ring movement, so we're moving. Staying in ring center. Back to Holyfield we go. No control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield takes control. 16 is going to land a punch. He will land. 6 is a 2-point jab. So 10 points. And actually, I think I forgot. I got to do a little bit of paperwork here, because I almost forgot to take away a point from from Holyfield in round 2. I don't think it'll affect anything in terms of the scoring, so Klitschko should just have one more point of endurance in each round. So that should be a 60. That should be a 52. That should be a 51. Okay, now that we got all that straight, back to Holyfield we go. Who loses control? Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko. No control. Restless crowd again. Holyfield takes control. 69 is ring movement, so we are moving. Nowhere, we're staying at ring center. Back to Holyfield we go. No control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield. No control. Klitschko. Takes control. Foul. Klitschko is a B against. A 77 plus 5 is 80. I'm pretty sure Klitschko is going to get points taken off. He's going to get a shoulder foul as well. All right, back to Klitschko we go. Who will take control. Let's see what happens here. This is the last card of the round. But Klitschko picks up a power shot, so we do get to resolve that. Holyfield's a 2 against. A 7. So a 7-2 will be 4 points to Klitschko, but he's going to lose 1 for the... He's going to lose 1 for the shoulder foul, so I'm only going to give him 3 points. But that's the end of round 5. So 10 points for Holyfield, 3 for Klitschko. Let's see, 41 and 69 for Holyfield. And I believe at a 7-point margin, high score wins the round 10-9. So Holyfield picks up the win on all 3 cards. We'll come back with the decks ready for round 6, and Holyfield will be back to being our aggressor. Holyfield is continuing to box, and he's our aggressor, so there's the bell. Let's start round 6. Holyfield will start off with control. Foul. Oh boy, he's a D against injury, so he dodges a bullet there. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 79 is ring movement, so we're moving. Nowhere, we're staying at ring center. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 30 is going to land a punch. And Holyfield will get on the board with a 7 being good for a 2-point jab. So 2 points to Holyfield. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. Foul. Geez, Holyfield a D against 54 plus 5 is 59. Getting warned for a low blow. Holyfield stays in control. 64 is ring movement, so we're moving. Staying in ring center. Back to Holyfield we go, who loses control. Klitschko. No control. Holyfield takes control. Lands a power shot. Klitschko's a 1 against an 18. 18-1. 5 points to Holyfield, and I believe full killer instinct. Well, a minimum of 6. He was full of more than 6. So that brings Holyfield up to 7 points, and he gets his full Killer Instinct of 8 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so this is all Holyfield. We start off with another power shot. So Klitschko's still a 1 against a 6, which should be another 4 points. So that'll bring Holyfield up to 11. Next up, we have ring movement, so we're moving to the far corner. All right, back to Holyfield we go. 11 is going to be another punch landed. Holyfield will land. 21 is good for a 3-point hook, which will bring him up to 14 points. Next up, 74 is ring movement, so we're moving back to ring center. That was kind of dumb on Holyfield's part, but nothing we can do there. And to Killer Instinct, Holyfield picked up a good amount of points there, and he gets our next control check. He'll lose control. Klitschko will take control. Land a power shot of his own. Holyfield's a 2 against a 20. Oh boy. All right, 6 points to Klitschko, and we got to check for a knockout. Six points to Klitschko, and we need a knockout rating this time of a 10, which won't end the fight, but it will give Klitschko his full Killer Instinct. So Klitschko's Killer Instinct is 9 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Klitschko needed this after the way the round was shaping up. He'll start off with a punch landed, and he'll land 65 will be good for a 2-point combination, so that'll bring Klitschko up to 8 points. Back to Killer Instinct. 73 is ring movement, so we're moving. Nowhere, we're staying at ring center. 55 is going to be a clinch. 72 will be ring movement. Are we moving anywhere? No, we're staying at ring center. 58 will be another clinch, and 19 will be a landed punch, so Klitschko will pick up. 53 for a 3-point combination. That'll bring him up to 11. Back over to Klitschko we go, who loses control. Holyfield will take control. 38 will miss a punch, no counter punch. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield takes control. 56 is going to clinch. Back to Holyfield. No control. Klitschko takes control. 50 is going to be a clinch, and there's the bell to end round 6. All right, 14 points for Holyfield to 11 for Klitschko. We'll have to ask the judges what they think, what they thought of the round. All right, 14 is 27, and 11 from that is 58. So we have to ask the judges what they think of the round. They are scoring it high, high, high. So they're giving the round to Holyfield. Which will give Holyfield another round win. I'll get the decks ready, and we'll be ready for round 7, where Holyfield will be our aggressor. Holyfield's going to continue to box, obviously. He's our aggressor, and there's the bell, and let's start round 7. Holyfield will start it off with no control. Klitschko, no control either. Holyfield, no control. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield will take control. 6 is going to land a power shot. We had a power shot party last round. Klitschko is a KD1 of 1 against a 9. 4 points to Holyfield. That brings him up to 4 points. Back to Holyfield we go, who will stay in control. 11 is going to land a punch. He will land. 47 is good for a 2-point cross. So we're up to 6 points for Holyfield on the round. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 17 is going to land another punch. He will pick up. A 7 for another 2-point jab. 8 points. Over to Holyfield we go, who loses control. Klitschko won't get control. Holyfield will take control. 47 is a missed punch. Klitschko can try to counter punch, which a 77 won't do. Back to Holyfield, who loses control. Klitschko takes control. Foul. Klitschko's a B against a 39 plus 5 is 44. Waved off. Klitschko, no control. Holyfield takes control. 8 is outside of power shot range, but he will land a punch. He will land. 1 point partially blocked, so that brings Holyfield up to 9 points. Back to Holyfield we go. Stays in control. 30 is going to land a punch. He will land. 79 is going to be good for a 2-point uppercut, so that'll bring Holyfield up to 11 points on the round. Back to Holyfield we go, who stays in control. 74 is ring movement, so we're moving to the far ropes. Holyfield +1 in his control checks, which he didn't need there. He takes control. He stays in control, I should say. 51 is a clinch. Holyfield stays in control. 10 is going to land another punch. He will land. 10 is a 2-point jab, so that'll bring Holyfield up to 13 points. Back to Holyfield, who stays in control. 21 is going to land another punch. He will land. 57 is good for a 2-point combination, bringing Holyfield up to 15 points on the round. Back to Holyfield, who stays in control. Foul. He's a D against a 67 plus 5 is 72, which I believe is going to lose him points. He's going to lose a point for a headbutt. So now we need to be careful, because now we're starting to get into territory, and I'll talk about that between rounds. So Holyfield stays in control. Another foul. He's a D against 68 plus 3 is 73. Okay, I need to talk about this now because we're on the 3rd point deduction, so he's going to lose another point for hitting behind the head. Let's see, I don't think I've ever had this happen before. So we're on a point deduction where, because of our referee, he allowed 2 point deductions, but now now we have to check for a disqualification. Let me just look at this. Fouls, here we go. 31. So now we're on the 3rd check. Which means, hold on. Okay, wait a minute. Let me just read this through a second. Received. To be made on the 4th warning of any type. Okay, wait. So being checked for another foul, not lost a point yet. He's lost. Okay, I'm going to pause this for a second so I can look at this, because we're in a situation here where Holyfield has already lost points twice. He's on his 3rd deduction. I think we check again. For a disqualification. But let me pause. Let me turn the camera off so I can look at that. I have a post out to the geek right now on how we're going to do this. But the way we're going to do it is we're going to check for a disqualification now. So we're going to be on this table. And if I'm going to get a random number, and if it's 56 and up, the referee is going to disqualify Holyfield. He'll take the point on 1 to 55, but then I'm going to have the referee disqualify Holyfield on the next point deduction if there isn't one now. So let's check what happens here. We find that's a 71. So Larry Hazard, after 3 fouls on Holyfield, has disqualified Holyfield, and he's giving the fight to Klitschko. So I'll make a note here. At 1, 2, 3, 4 cards left in the round, so we're on card 47, 8, 9, 50. So we're on card 47 at 257 of round 7. Not the way we wanted to see Klitschko advance, but it works at the end of the story. So that means Matthew and I will each pick up a point in the Greatest Boxer Tournament. So here's a look at the current brackets. We're all set there. So Rocky Marciano will be facing Ivan Drago in the quarterfinals. Sonny Liston will be up against Lennox Lewis. Rocky Balboa will be taking on Ken Norton. And now George Foreman is facing Vitali Klitschko, who got very much battered in this bout. But that will do it for this video. We'll be continuing with the Greatest Boxer Tournament in Lost Carcosa this month. So as far as what's scheduled on the channel, Wednesday we're starting our background campaign of Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold. And Sunday we're continuing the fall campaign with the second scenario, Return to the Last King. It's either Last King or Lost King. Let me just double check which scenario that is. I believe it's Last King, but don't quote me on that. It's Last King. Now that we've got that straight, thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.